the students and the faculties of Department of Youth Empowerment, RGNIYD, have another feather in our hats. We are proud to be known as a family working together to achieve the best by treading the untrodden path with passionate zeal. We are delighted and feel privileged to present a glimpse of ripples. Yes, we have created positive and innovative ripples by taking this initiative for the first time in the history of the institution. We wish that the waves of change keep flowing.
Moreziros, a sociologist outlining the specific principle of community organization, states that discontentment with existing condition must lead to a positive action. Prompted by this principle, some of the students requested the director of RGNIYD for better field exposure than the existing model. Mr. Sudarshan, who was a field activist and had a vast experience of conducting rural camps in other colleges, took up the responsibilities of making arrangements for the village camp. With the help of the experienced staff and the students, a concept note and budget proposal was prepared.
Several preliminary meetings were held with the staff and the students to have clarity and to plan meticulously the field exposure. The students elected Mr. Arun of second year as the convener and Ms. Sharmila of first year as the co-convener of the camp. Under the leadership, a core team and different committees were set up to carry out various tasks. The students brainstormed for a suitable name for the village camp and selected RIPPLES, which stand for Rural Interaction for Pupils Participatory Learning and Enhancing Skills, as the village camp name. The wave of change was chosen as the tagline. All agreed to have together towards a better learning as the theme of the camp. An appropriate logo was designed by the Sachin and Mr. Lirang, composed a camp song. Ripples flag and clap to added extra zest to the preparation of the camp. It was decided that all the planning and execution will be done by the students and the faculty will only facilitate the process. Thus, all the arrangements were done by the students in spite of not knowing the local language fluently.
The objective of the rural camp was to develop and understand the rural structure of and cultural processes, to explain the dynamics of group living, to acquire skills in planning, organizing, implementing and evaluating an event, to study the health and sanitation conditions of the rural community, to analyze the present structure of the rural community, to acquire knowledge about rural administration and structure, and to focus on traditional ecological knowledge of the rural community.
A group of 5 students scouted different places in Tiruvallur district and selected Kudambakam village for the field exposure. Kudambakam being a model village in many aspects, students found it as an ideal place for the village camp. Important stakeholders like the Panchayat president, local leaders, youth leaders, police inspector, NGOs were approached and got necessary permission and approval to conduct the camp. Students along with faculty invited Mr. K. Viraraghava Rao, the district collector of Tiruvallur, to the campsite. He was pleased with the initiative of the students and willingly consented to be there in the village. He suggested to make an assessment of the sanitation status of the village and assured to take action based on the report. He also suggested the students to say about planting of trees and solid waste management.
Collaboration. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, said Helen Keller. The success of the Rebels was its collaboration with international, national, state and district level agencies. The Rebels collaborated with World Health Organization, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, RGNIYD, the BYSD Business and Youth Starting Together, NYGS, Bosco Friends, local administration and others.
The camp was flagged off on Friday, 10th April by Dr. Ladha Pillai, the director, and Dr. G. Jayalakshmi, the registrar RGNIYD in the campus. The students reached the campsite at 5 p.m. and got into action by visiting the village and building rapport with the people and inviting them for the common activities of the camp.
In a
Inauguration of Ripples. The inauguration of Ripples was held at 10 a.m. in Kutumbakam Panchayat office on Saturday 11th April 2015. Dr. Ramaswamy, the Dean of Savita Medical College and Hospital, inaugurated the program by lighting of the lamp in the presence of Dr. Lata Pillai, the Director of RGNIYD, Ms. Pushpalata Satish, the Panchayat President, Dr. Girishan, Faculty Head, RGNIYD, Mr. Mani, the Police Sub-Inspector of Velavedu Police Station, Dr. S. Lalita, Assistant Professor SYSC, and other staff and students of the institute and the villages were present.
The inauguration of the Ripples was followed by a free health checkup camp in collaboration with Savita Medical College, which witnessed a huge response. About 150 villagers registered for the medical camp and had their health checkup. The initiative was highly appreciated by all the participants. The active participation and assistance of various stakeholders was really appreciated.
The participatory rural appraisal. All the students were divided into 3 groups to conduct participatory rural appraisal in the 3 habitats of Kutumbakam Panchayat. The 3 groups went to Kutumbakam North, Kutumbakam and Kutumbakam South villages for PRA. All the group had a transect work with the villages and made an assessment of villages by using following tools: wealth ranking, housing structure analysis, social mapping, time schedule of men and women in the village, trend analysis, timeline, seasonality studies, inflow-outflow chart, problem analysis. After completing the PRA, students had a fair knowledge of the villages they adopted for PRA.
Based on the suggestions made by Sri Veera Raghava Rao, District Collector of Tiruvallur, a group of students conducted a rapid rural appraisal for the sanitation status in South Kutumbakam Panchayat under the guidance of Dr. Girishan. The survey team had met local governing leaders, village heads, schools, Anganwadis and individuals' houses and persons to assess availability and non-availability of sanitation facilities and utilization of the same. Consolidated report of assessment was prepared and submitted to the District Collector for further action on 14th of April 2015.
In collaboration with WHO, the participants of Ripples observed the World Health Day 2015 by disseminating the information on World Health Day and its theme for the year, Food Safety, Farm to Plate. Focus group discussion with the villager on food safety. Awareness program on health and hygiene were conducted in the village.
Discussion with Panchayat Raj representative. The student arranged an interactive session with the Panchayat Raj representative to know the best practice of the local governance. Mismatch between the theory learned in the classroom and the reality in the field was clarified through the posting pertinent questions. The local leaders were very friendly in sharing their achievements and concern.
It is said an empty mind is a devil's workshop. To encourage sports and to engage the young people, Ripples team organized an inter-hamlet volleyball tournament for youth above 16 years and a cricket tournament below 16 years. This strategy was adopted to mobilize the youth to form their own youth club or groups in the village. The cue was taken from the models of youth work studied in the classrooms.
A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. Yoko Ono. Having studied various models of youth work in the classroom, the students executed task of forming the youth clubs in the village. Having convinced of the need of reaching out to the society by forming youth clubs, 4 youth groups came forward to form themselves into officially registered youth clubs. During the Ambedkar Jayanti celebration, the youth groups were inaugurated by the district collector by handing over the name board prepared by the Ripples, Mr. Deva Segamani, the district youth coordinator of NYK Tiruvallur, gave away a sapling each to the youth clubs. He met all the youth groups and briefed them about NYK and encouraged them to register the group with the Society of Registrar. The students, on behalf of the institution, promised to support the youth groups by way training, knowledge sharing, and other assistance when required. Formation of the youth groups is one of the biggest achievements for the students of the Ripples. RGNIYD plan to have regular interaction with those youth clubs in particular and with the village in general. That village can be one of the fieldwork agency to train the student of RGNIYD.
In collaboration with Swachh Bharat Abhiyan RGNIYD, the Ripples conducted various activities in the village.
Hand wash program in 3 villages at 6 places was organized for the children and the youth. After explaining the need of the health and the hygiene, the participants were taught through demonstration how to keep their hand clean and washing them properly.
As part of Clean and Green India, tree plantation campaign was launched by Dr. Jayalakshmi, the registrar of RGNIYD. Tree saplings were distributed to the school children in 3 villages and planted in different places.
The participants of the Ripples cleaned the public toilet at the North Kutumbakam Community Hall. Though the toilets were constructed recently, they were not functioning. Through their hard work made it functional.
The Ripples celebrated Ambedkar Jayanti and Tamil New Year in Kudambakam South Primary School on 14 April 2015. Mr. K. Veera Raghava Rao, IAS, the District Collector of Tiruvallur, honored the portrait of Dr. Ambedkar in the presence of Dr. Lata Pillai, the Director RGNIYD, Mr. Devas Sigamani, District Youth Coordinator NYK Tiruvallur, Mrs. Pushpalata Satish and other dignitaries. Inaugurating the program, Sri K. Veera Raghava Rao IAS, District Collector, appreciated the students of RGNIYD for having chosen Kutambakam village for field experience. He highlighted the efforts of students in exactly assessing the sanitation system in the village. After going through the research findings, he promised to provide toilet facility to all the households, those without toilets. Further, he also responded to a grievance brought by the villagers by promising land pattas for the landless people. In connection with sanction of land pattas, he further mentioned that because of Ripples, the landless people are getting pattas. The collector exhorted the villagers to make the village model for sanitation, waste management and tree plantation. He proposed to have collaboration with RGNIYD in many areas in the days to come.
The entrepreneurship orientation program was conducted in 2 villages by Mr. Hari Paskar, the resource person from Bharati Yuva Shakti Trust. The program threw a light on successful entrepreneurs who are driving the economy into wood. The local youth were encouraged and promised necessary support to start an innovative entrepreneurial activities in the village.
The most exciting part of the Ripples was the campfire on 14th April. Every member of the camp took active part in the campfire and expressed themselves without any inhibition. Various regional groups had performance of their culture. Everyone danced non-stop to the heart's content around the fire. Participation of faculty and the special program made everyone livelier. Party songs, party games, jokes, mimicry, etc. added color to the fun and frolic.
The students visited Trust for Local Governance, founded by Mr. Elango, the former Panchayat President, the man behind making Kutambakam as a model village. Through an interactive session, students came to know the dynamics of local governance and history and future plans for the Kutambakam village.
Though Kutambakam is a model village, well developed and not required anybody's intervention, the School of Youth Studies and Extension has chosen this village because of the 4 main reasons. 1. Ripple's objective was participatory learning and enhancing skills. 2. Learning various approaches and models in developing village. 3. It was not only to work for the village, but also to learn from the village. 4. Above all, there is a lot of scope to work in the village, particularly to improve sanitation conditions, youth development, cleanliness of surroundings, and sustaining the developmental initiatives.
Curtain fell for the Ripples on 15th April at 3 p.m. with a valedictory program in the community hall at Kutambakam North. Dr. G. Jalashmi, the Registrar of RGNIYD, delivered a valedictory address. In her concluding address, she appreciated the effort of faculty and the students in organizing such a field exposure and exhorted the students to interiorize and synthesize all the learnings of in the field. Further, she also gave a set of suggestions for the further improvement. The students bid farewell to the Kutambakam at 5:30 p.m. with a mixed feelings of joy and sense of accomplishment.
We had a number of opportunities to organize several programs. It was great learning in organizing events at different levels.
Application of scientific research methodology in data collection and reporting gave us a practical exposure on research methodology.
By networking with the various stakeholders, we experienced the power of collaboration and synergy.
The theory learned in the classroom made sense when it was practiced in the field. We came to know that the theoretical learning in the class was not fully applicable to the practice in the field. Hence, in my opinion, it may be the eye-opener to revisit the curriculum
Classroom
of the
learning was put to test in the community. It was experiential learning for me in the community.
In community organization, one of the toughest tasks is to mobilize resources. We were able to mobilize resources for the field exposure and also for the community themselves.
Through sanitation need assessment and forming the youth clubs, we were able to make positive intervention in the lives of the community. Because of ripples, the villagers were given land patta by the DC.
All of us were made to report and evaluate every activity of the ripples. We learned the skills of documentation and reporting.
We, the students, are immensely grateful to the Almighty for the blessing and protection we experienced during the camp. We are immensely grateful to the institution, especially the director, the register, the administration and all other staff for facilitating the village camp and making ripples a reality. We place on record the tireless effort of the faculty facilitator, Mr. Sudarshan, in conducting this camp. Sincere words of appreciation to Dr. Girisan, Dr. Lalita, Mr. Sojan and Mr. Rambabu for their support and encouragement. We are indebted to the village head and all the beloved people of the Kutambakam for their selfless service in enriching our learning. We are grateful to all those who were associated with the ripples and made it a grand success. Thanks a million to all the students for their active participation. Without their cooperation, nothing could have been possible. Together, we have had a better learning. Kudos to one and all.